Allegedly, my favorite thing to do was the Stairway of Heaven.
Oh, you can't do that anymore, huh?
Yeah, I don't know if I did that, but yeah. It was a good view when you got up there.
Yeah. Aloha, Sharks Nation. We are back. We are live in studio, and we have a packed studio this morning. We're going to be talking HPU men's basketball with head coach Jesse Nakanishi, and he brought along a couple of standout players, Kordel and Sherman Brashear. But before we get to basketball, I want to have a little conversation with our in-studio producer, Mr. Paul Breck, and our new in-studio sidekick and co-host, the Assistant Director of Strategic Communications at HPU, Mr. Greg Fishbach. But before we get to that, Paul, it's good to see you. I don't think it's been a little while here, a few months since we've seen each other and caught up.
Yeah, it's been a little while, but at the end of the day, what is it? The distance makes the heart grow fonder, or something along those lines.
Usually.
It's been a wonderful summer, but certainly ready to be back in full swing here as HPU sports fully underway, and we're getting to chat with another program today that is getting ready for what should be a pretty fun year in general. Last week we heard from men's soccer, women's soccer, cross country, a whole bevy of different programs, and that was really good time, really enjoyable. And if in case you missed that, you can catch that on demand wherever you get most podcasts under Hawai'i Sports Radio or Hawai'i Sports Radio Network, or go to our website, hawaiisportsradio.com. Find that and tune in, because it really was fun, informative. You heard from the men's head coach, the men's assistant coach, the women's head coach, and, of course, the cross-country head coach. So a lot of fun. In case you missed it, go check that one out. And a really great job by you guys on that. But fun one, first live show of the year today, yes. And a pretty awesome guest.
Yes, we have great guests in studio. And before we do, did you have an eventful summer, though? Did anything fun or interesting happen over the summer to you?
I don't know. There's this band thing on my left ring finger all of a sudden. I got married over the summer. It was very, very nice. It was nice to unplug from sports for about a month and then get right back into it. I think my wife agrees that she's happy that I am back into it now as well.
Wow. Well, I'm sure your wife feels like a very lucky woman. She's taken one of the most eligible bachelors off the market here in Oahu. So sorry, single ladies. But Paul is no longer available. But thanks for holding down the fort last week, and it was a great show. And we introduced some sort of on-the-spot reports last week. That our on-the-spot reporter, now in-studio co-host, Mr. Greg Fishbach, took. So welcome formally to the show, Greg.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff. It's exciting to be here. This is so beautiful at Aloha Tower. It's such a beautiful day. How were those interviews? You think they went okay?
I thought they went fantastic, and it was a great way to kick off the year, to hear a little bit from most of the fall sports. We've got a couple more that we'll actually run probably next week, in the coming weeks. But we wanted to give all of our listeners an opportunity to hear a little bit from each of the coaches as we head into the new fall semester and all the new sports seasons this year. So thanks for getting out in the field and having some interesting conversations.
I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it.
So today we're going to talk men's basketball, and we have our returning guest, head coach Mr. Jesse Nakanishi, and he is headed into his second season as head coach. Last year led HPU to an amazing record of 18-11, one of the best seasons in quite a while, including a 13-7 finish in the Pac West and an appearance in the Pac West Conference Tournament. Previously, Jesse served as the associate head coach here, helping to guide the team to a Pac West title and NCAA regional berths in 2016-17 season. So, Jesse, it's great to see you. Welcome back to the show.
Love it. Appreciate you having me. It's like home here in the esports arena on campus here. We love being down here. We don't get down here much because of our campus at Shark Tank. We spend most of our days there. Our guys live there, basically. But love being down here as well. Thanks for having us.
We got the Shark Tank, and, of course, Greg, your segment talking to folks at the Shark Bowl. Yeah. So we got plenty of shark connotations going on. Jesse, you brought two standout players with you this morning. So we've got hailing from Kaneohe, Hawaii, Mr. Kordel is a guard. And are you a sophomore?
I'm a senior.
Senior, okay, I'm way off, man.
Getting old.
Yeah, you don't want to get old. Enjoy your youth, my friend. All right, well, Kordel, welcome to the show. And we also have Mr. Sherman Brashear, hailing from Dallas, Texas. Are you a Cowboys fan?
I've converted over to Seattle Seahawks recently.
Oh, wow.
Well, you got to be a Mavs fan, though, right? As
I
a
am. I
basketball
definitely
player.
love my Mavs for
You
sure.
like Mark Cuban?
Yes, sir. I love what we got going.
Very nice. Well, welcome to the show, gentlemen. Let's talk basketball here as we get rolling. So Jesse, you guys had a really just a standout season last year. A lot of buzz around campus, a lot of excitement. Just an outstanding team that was dominant through parts of the year.
Yeah, when you see our record, I only hear the L's, but it was a good start. We'll put a good foundation laid. We talk a lot about culture, so kind of got that in place and still ongoing and growing it, but definitely a good start. Not where we want to end by all means. It was again, it's a process along the way, and I feel we're getting there. But I couldn't be more excited. I think it's year 25-ish of mine personally coaching, and I couldn't be more excited.
25 years. Man, are you that old?
Yeah, I feel every bit of it. But this is a great group of guys. I just love going to work, going to practice with them, being in the trenches with them. They're buying into everything we're trying to do here. So it's fun. It's not work. It's fun.
Yeah.
So,
and boy, if you can get it to that point, that makes a huge difference in what you're doing. But as I said earlier, there was just a huge buzz across campus last year about the team's success and the excitement for the games. You guys had good turnout. Just an exciting season. So how do you top it?
Next step. Trying to win a championship.
Well, tell me, gentlemen. So you guys are feeling the team pulse and the team mojo this year. What stands out, Kordel? When you think about last year and the differences between last year and this year, what really comes to mind?
Just differences. Like we have different players. Like every year is different. That's how college works. We're bringing in a lot of new guys. People are graduating and stuff. But this year, just bonding, getting the culture set, like Coach said, and just like we're like a family. Like we hang out every day, we're around each other every day. We got community service events, team events is everything. We just want to be together, and it's gonna help us on the court.
Yeah, and Sherman. So give me your sense of how do you feel the team is coming together early in the year?
I feel like the team is meshing pretty well. This is I've been here for almost a month now. So I've been to 3 different programs, and I feel like, the biggest thing between winning and losing is, like I keep saying, culture. And I feel like the coaching staff and the players that have been here, they do a really good job of, making sure that stays the foundation here.
Yep. Now I see you're in the StratCom program, so that's the Master's in Strategic Communications?
Yes, sir.
So
yes,
is this your first year as your grad student this year?
Yes, sir.
So
First year.
Okay. What brought you to HPU? How did HPU get on your radar?
Well, it was actually funny because me and Coach Cam talked early in the transfer portal process. I knew going in I was going to really take my time with me and my family to make, a thorough decision and a good one, because this is my last year and I want to make sure I go out with a bang. And, the biggest thing on my plate was to make sure that I win my last year. And so, throughout the conversations with Coach Knock and Coach Cam, I really liked what they were talking about. I liked how last year they won a lot of games, and I feel like, me coming here, I could, help and contribute to winning more.
Very nice. And what's your impression of Hawaii now that you've been here for a little bit?
I love it. Coming from Texas, it's definitely hotter.
Hotter than Texas in the summer?
Yeah. No, wow. I said no.
Oh,
Texas is definitely
okay.
hotter than Hawaii, of course. No. So, it's nice to go outside at 12 p.m. and, get a cool breeze instead of sweating, The food is good. It's all fresh here.
Yep.
So, I'm loving it. I'm loving my time here.
As they say, best weather on the planet. Have you experienced some good Hawaii poke yet?
Yes, sir, I have. I've been going, trying out different spots.
What's
I just
your
had
favorite?
my favorite poke, Paradise Poke. It's over on Nuuanu, I think.
Oh, yeah, I
said it
have
right?
been there.
Nuuanu?
Yeah.
That's how you say it,
Nuuanu, right?
Okay, I'm
There you
getting
go,
my,
Sherman.
Yeah.
my little slander's coming around, but yeah, I'm loving the food here. I definitely got a little burnt out on L&L, so
The L&L Barbecue Shack at El Moana.
yeah, or it's one by my house. I don't know the street name, but
So you're a shooting guard. Who's your favorite your favorite shooting guard in the NBA?
my favorite shooting guard in the NBA right now, I'll probably have to go. He's really a 1-2, but I'll probably go Steph Curry.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
can't go wrong. Yeah,
Yeah, can't go wrong with
probably
Steph
the best
Curry.
shooter ever.
What about you, Kordel? Do you have a NBA player that you really looked up to through your career and tried to model your play after?
Not really. Those NBA guys are good. I can't do what they're doing. But yeah, I enjoy watching basketball. My favorite player is LeBron. So yeah,
Yeah.
I cannot play like LeBron though. So
Hey, I don't know. I see the similarities. If anybody's seen Kordel jump, they wouldn't think it's too far off.
Wow.
Very nice. Well, I think as we think about heading into the season, as I said, it's a high bar that you guys set last year, Jesse. And what's most different about this team, or is it modeled after last year? Do you really see similarities in the style of play, the tempo of the game that you're trying to achieve?
Yeah, we are going to try and play a little faster. We feel we're pretty deep, try to get more possessions, more shot attempts. I did think in the recruiting process we made it a point of emphasis to really have a low post presence, and we have a really good one in Jonas Visser and Tucker returning as well. And then to surround our point guards like Kordel and surrounding our bigs that I just talked about with 40% shooting all around them.
Okay.
And Sherman Brashear here, who at the Division I level was able to shoot at 40% plus.
Very
so
nice.
we are very excited about trying to increase our offensive point production while still trying to remain stout on the defensive end. We were fortunately able to be one of the top teams. I think the top team as far as points per game defensively. So we got to be able to replicate that side of the ball, but increase offensively. So I'm really excited again about what we brought in to go along with the returners we have.
Very nice. Well, we're going to take a quick commercial break, but before we do so, I just want to give a big shout out and thanks to our many sponsors. Physiotherapy in particular, our physical therapists have all been competitive athletes and know what it takes to get you back and doing what you love fast. Physiotherapy. Thanks so much for sponsoring Sharks Weekly. So we'll be right back after a quick commercial break. You are listening to Sharks Weekly on 95.1 Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Guaranteed admission? Guaranteed scholarship?
Sound too good to be true? A private college is in your reach at Hawai'i Pacific University. If you're a local high school student with a 2.75 GPA or higher, HPU guarantees your admission and at least a $15,000 scholarship every year. It's their way of supporting your dreams right here at home. Visit hpu.edu/affordable for details. Hawai'i Pacific University, Hawaii's affordable private university.
You're listening to Sharks Weekly on the Hawaii Sports Radio Networks, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Well, we're back live now. So we are at the Esports Arena here on the beautiful campus of Hawaii Pacific University at Aloha Tower Marketplace in one of the most beautiful cities on the planet, Honolulu, Hawaii. So we're talking men's basketball. And, Jesse, as we were saying earlier, building team chemistry is so important to hitting that next level of achievement, and particularly early in the season when you got some new players. So I understand that you guys recently held a team building event at the Kualoa Ranch. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, it's just, as coaches from all angles, we try to create different, we call them collisions, where they interact with each other, both formal and informal settings, and a lot of it happens off the court. We did a summer reading together prior to coming, so they got to know each other through text message group.
What was the reading?
It was called Culture Code. Really good book. I'd recommend it to any institutions and leaders trying to build team. Covers real key concepts. And actually, we're going on a team retreat this weekend. We're going to stay overnight on the North Shore. We're going to spend some time in the Lo'i, give these guys some actual culture, Hawaiian culture, and then go and spend some time in the afternoon and evening and have some food and go over some team building activities to really establish our values and our identity and all that type of stuff. So we're looking forward to that this weekend. But yeah, we again, from all angles, and Kualoa, shout out Dean Kita, who hooked it up and let our team come visit their secret island, it's called, and it's not too much of a secret because it's an awesome place that people need to know about.
Well, the secret's out now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How did you guys feel about the team building? Had you been up to Kualoa Ranch before, Kordel and Sherman?
Yes, sir. My experience at Kualoa Ranch was, an awesome time. For my first time ever going out that way. The scenery was really beautiful. The water was pretty cold, so I'm not used to that. But it was pretty fun. I enjoyed myself.
Well, now that's a relative observation about cold water in Hawaii, right? It's all relative. Kordel, so I mentioned you've been up there a few times.
Yeah, in high school, we did a marathon over there. And the mountains, ran around where they filmed Jurassic Park and stuff like that. There's a water slide. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's an amazing, beautiful place. And it does feel like you're stepping back into kind of a prehistoric environment, just with the shape of the geography and the mountains, and very cool place. But yeah, I mean, you're coming from Kaneohe, which I think is one of the most beautiful place on the island. I go up there every Saturday to paddle with an outrigger group. Shout out to my friends at Nakoalani. But it's my favorite thing to do, head up there on a Saturday morning.
It's a very beautiful town. Very grateful to wake up and to see the koalas.
Beautiful. So let's come back to the season. So so we were saying, Jesse, last year you guys had a lot of height. You had a 7'4" center. So you lost a little bit of that height, but still stout defense. How do you guys match up when you talk about height and speed?
Yeah, I think collectively we're a pretty big group, big team, relatively in our league. And yes, our bigs are, no pun intended, a big part of what we do, and playing inside out and through them a lot. But our guard play is also going to be something to be talked about, and hopefully take us over the top this year.
So do you see more of a controlled tempo as you think about the team's strengths and the opponents?
I think I put a lot of trust in our point guards and our guards in general to control tempo. If we feel we have numbers, go ahead and take it. We just value a good shot. If it happens in the first 5 seconds, we'll take it. If it happens in the middle or end of the shot clock, that's what we work for. But yeah, just trusting our point guards to establish tempo. But we definitely want to push a faster pace this year.
Yeah.
So, Coach, you think we're going to see more fast breaks this year? Is it going to be a real quick?
That's the plan. Working on it today, actually. But we're definitely going to, like I said, push the ball and try to get some easy shots in transition if we can. And if not, we'll work it for a good one through our bigs.
Yeah. Well, here's your field general, so to speak, right here with your guards. Do you guys feel just the need to just push it up the court? What's your inclination, or do you have to kind of resist that urge and control the tempo?
I think it's give and take. If we have numbers, obviously we want to push. But if they're back in set, then we trust in our offense to get us a good shot. So yeah, whatever the other team gives us.
I just leave that up to the coaches and the point guards. I like to shoot, so
you're the shooting guard.
Yeah.
Well, you were saying 40% free throw percent, and you're 3-point. Wow. So all right, well you got a shooter that you can rely on for sure.
You think the game is evolving to a more faster game, or are we seeing more? How do you see it?
Well, I think the game is definitely evolving to more of a faster game because faster pace, more points. And it feels a C-sub, so yes, sir, I think it is.
Very nice. Well, all right, so another note that I wanted to ask you about, Jesse, is the Shark Bite membership program. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, the mentorship program is just another community service. It's our main community service event we do, just try to establish some roots in the community and give back. And I actually think our guys gain more out of it than the kids do. But we partner with Manoa and Noelana Elementary, our neighbors over at the Shark Tank in Manoa, and our guys go in once a month to both schools, and they do just mentoring the kids. They do different topics each month, whether it be nutrition, healthy living. We do a sports clinic with them too at their respective schools. So again, just giving back. That's just kind of one of our angles we take. Do some other things as well, like our CAMS Helmets program. We're doing Special Olympics next weekend. So just try to, whoever asks, we try to help out. And again, that's partly of how we grow our brand, but mostly give back.
And, Kordel, how do you feel about, your role as a mentor now that you're an upperclassman? You've been at this for a while, and I know you guys have done this for a few years with bringing, high school kids, K-12 kids that are basketball enthusiasts around, and they look to you guys as role models. And, I imagine you take that pretty seriously at the point in life you're at now.
Yeah, it's a cool experience. I think more so for me than for them, because like growing up in Hawaii, like anyone older than me when I was little, I thought they was the coolest person ever. So like I just want to help them. Like I'm always here to just whatever they need. It's good fun for me.
What about you, Sherman?
Yeah, it's always a great time, inspiring other kids, because one day they might be in our shoes. So knowing that we were there to inspire them would mean a lot.
Yeah, it does. It means so much. And I think, as we grow older in life, especially if we were athletes when we were younger, sometimes you lose a little bit of that, respect for athletes when you see, how much it's a business now and it's about money at the pro levels. And, it's kind of hard to develop that, that sort of mentorship and that role modeling that was so easy to do, I think, in decades past, because sports have become such a big business now. And, basketball, football, guys want to get the biggest contract. And, it's nice when you see college athletes in particular that still play for the love of the game. They love getting out there and competing. They understand the importance of role modeling for younger kids. And I think that's what's unique about Division II.
Jesse, I was a little bit curious about how the program came to be in general. How long's this been in effect? Did it start with you taking over? Was this something a long term? And has it evolved since last year?
I think it started 3 years ago, year prior to me taking over. So with Coach V. Coach V was a big part of it too. But I just, with coming back here, wanting to do more in the community, and Vord was all about it. So it just made perfect sense. We're in this new neighborhood with our new gym, partner with these kids, and just try to inspire them like these guys just said, and then hopefully they come to our games as well, and that has worked out. And they come on their own with their parents. Hey, I want to go see Kordel play, and now it's just a win-win for everyone. We get some butts in the seats, and they haven't a really good time. I know you mentioned a field trip game. We're going to do that again this year. We bust these kids in for a noon weekday game. So January 30th, that Shark Tank will be filled with screaming kids. So we're excited about that game. I'd love to do one more now, Jeff. We have, speaking of community service, so on October 5th, a free kids clinic. Come see what the Shark Tank is about, and our guys, and so 8 to 13 years old. We got 2 different sessions going on, no cost at all. Again, just wanting to give back a little bit, and also let parents and kids see where our home is.
So definitely get that on the calendar. And that was October 5th at the Shark Tank Free Kids Clinic.
Yes, they can just go on to our website, hpusharks.com, and all the info is there. So they'll need to do a little health form and all that, but it's a really easy process, and they'll have some fun with our guys.
All right, and an opportunity to have some of those young basketball enthusiasts look at some role models and learn how to play, and so that should be a fantastic event. All right, so we are going to take another quick commercial break, but before we do, I'm going to give a shout out to another one of our amazing sponsors this year. Thank you to the Bank of Hawaii for being a sponsor of Sharks Weekly. Bank of Hawaii is a proud supporter of Hawaii Pacific University athletics and the only local bank ranked one of America's most trusted companies by Newsweek. Bank of Hawaii, member FDIC, an equal housing lender. So we'll take a quick break, and then we'll be back and talk a little more basketball. I'm your host, Jeff Rich. You're listening to Sharks Weekly.
You're listening to Sharks Weekly on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Networks, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
We are back live on the Aloha Tower Marketplace here at Hawaii Pacific University, and you're listening to Sharks Weekly. We're talking HPU men's basketball. So, Jesse, I understand that you have another important event coming up on October 23rd, your tip-off event.
Yeah, really excited about that as well. Just celebrating the start of the season. It's just a event where all of our sponsors, our donors, and supporters all come together, and we just get to meet the guys and hear a little bit of what we just talked about and what we have going on, and just build some excitement for the season. So, looking forward to that. It'll be here at Sunset Ballroom during sunset. So it's an awesome environment and great location. Show off our campus a little bit as well. So it should be fun.
Very nice. Well, thanks to all of our donors and our athletic supporters and the amazing HPU alumni community for supporting the program. Our goal this year is we really want to get fans out in force and supporting the team. We want to get you guys more presence, maybe drive towards some televised games as we head into the future. That'd be a wonderful thing to get done and get you guys, get the players some visibility. So a lot of good things to look forward to this year. So you've got your first home game, an exhibition game against Hawai'i military coming up.
Yeah, that's on November 1st. Our first real game is November 8th. Yeah, like you mentioned.
That's Alaska Anchorage, right?
Alaska Anchorage, big game, big West Regional opponent. We've tried to schedule tough this year, and really, if we want to win the league, of course, for an automatic berth, but if not, try to get a at-large berth through a ranking. So it is a big game. And like you said, we're just trying to drive up attendance. I invite everybody to come check out a game. It's just a completely different product than UH. I love UH. I was born and raised a UH fan myself, but I think we offer something totally different. Like Paul had mentioned, you're just on top of the action. It's an intimate environment. It's fun. You get to know the guys, interact with them after the game if you want. Kids love being there. So yeah, I invite all of Oahu to come check out a game and experience the Shark Tank, and I think you'll want to come back for more.
I agree, and I know Paul, you're big on UH sports as well, and what you feel the palpable differences in the environments and the intimacy of the Shark Tank?
You feel differences, of course, but you look at it and you still understand you're getting really high quality basketball. You're getting really high quality just competition in general. The Pac West, if you look at last year, how competitive it was, even throughout the postseason tournament, all throughout conference play, you're going to see great games up and down the schedule. Like Coach Nakanishi said, they're scheduling pretty tough in the non-conference, and that's something that they did last year. Had an upset against Cal State San Bernardino, which they were nationally ranked in the top 10 at the time. They ended up finishing, I believe, in the Final Four of all of Division II. So this is a program with a lot of talent, and one that also plays against Hawaii every once in a while. You see them once a year, get to go on against that Division I program, and it's not like there is a massive difference, right? It really is. It shows how great coaching can be, how great effort can be, how great players can be at that stage. And then, like Coach Nakanishi said, if you see it once with these Sharks, you're only going to want to come back and see it again.
Yeah, it's exciting and well put, by the way. So you've continued, Coach, the tradition of excellence that Coach V established for all those years. And do you stay in touch? How's he doing, by the way?
Oh, he's doing great. Yeah, we talk multiple times a week, and
he went out to the West Coast.
He did. He's in Fresno right now and living the good life, the country club life. But
well, he did his time for sure, and built an amazing program with a lot of success. And so you got a nice head start with inheriting that culture.
I'm really indebted to him and as my mentor, speaking of mentorship, and really set the table for me and guided me along the way, and still today I seek his advice.
Yep. And of course, tone is set at the very top, and we've got, standing by in our studio here, HPU's athletic director, Dr. Debbie Snell. Debbie, how are you doing? I know we can't hear you, but shout out and a wave. Well, thanks for all that you do to keep our athletes going and to build these programs into such remarkable programs for our young athletes to participate in. I think this is the time in the show where we want to talk and get to know you guys a little bit more. Maybe, we'll let basketball go for a second. So let's talk about things that you love about Hawaii and off the court, so to speak. So maybe Sherman, kick us off. As we talked about earlier, you're new out here, and I forget you hadn't visited Hawaii much before coming out here to play.
Yes, sir. This my first time coming was actually my visit. I had a great time here. Things I like to do in my free time in Hawaii. I love going to the beach.
Okay, favorite beach?
So the most scenic beach I've been to here, Makapu. Didn't get in the water. The water was I didn't like how the waves were moving, so I decided to, watch from a distance. But I really just love going to see a beautiful view. I'll get in the water here and there, but I just like the scenic views and the drives.
Yep. Do you surf? Have you
no,
tried?
No, sir.
No interest in trying?
Stay in my limits, stay in my range. So
I'm there with you, man. You and I both. I respect for the power of water, right?
Yes,
well,
sir.
Jeff, I think you mentioned you just did Cocoa Head the other day.
Ooh, I did a Cocoa Head.
So on our visit, Sherman somehow convinced me to do Cocoa Head with him. I almost didn't make it, but this dude flew up there like he was walking on a sidewalk.
Cocoa Head was definitely a great experience. It was one of one experience. I didn't like some of the parts of it. It was a little, I had to,
There's that little bridge part with the bees.
That a little scary.
Spooked him a little bit.
Yeah.
Yes,
well, there's a pass through on that, isn't there?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. But yeah, that's an amazing hike. Any other things that really stand out in the time you've been here?
Let me think. Riding around on my moped, everywhere I go, I just see a beautiful view. I'm like, wow. Because being back home, we don't have much mountains around, at least in the range I'm in. So, the scenic views is really, everything to me.
Yep. Well, yeah, and the moped is huge, too. That was one of the first things I did when I got out here was pick up a moped because it makes parts of the island accessible that you otherwise would be afraid to go to because parking or, how do you get there? But the great moped culture on Oahu.
Yeah, the moped, we have a love-hate relationship. I've definitely had my moments on the moped. I remember one morning I was heading to the gym, and it was kind of wet outside, and I actually fell, and Coach Knock comes running out. He's like, "You all right?" But, the moped scene is pretty cool. I enjoy it.
Yeah, you got to be careful. Like anything else, it's you got drivers that aren't always paying attention to mopeders, but it's a great way to get around the island.
So I just want to ask Sherman, are you planning to go to any outer islands?
So after the season, I do plan to. I haven't planned a trip to another island, but I am planning a trip to Japan.
Oh wow!
So after the season, I definitely look forward to going there, but I'm still debating on what other islands
Yeah, I highly recommend it. I think people should really go to the other islands and explore too.
Yeah, I haven't done enough of that yet either, and absolutely, I mean, there's just so much beauty out here. Everywhere you go, things to do, beautiful things to see. Very few places that can compete. Well, Kordel, you growing up here, it must all be second nature. I mean, is there anything you haven't done on the islands that you'd like to?
Not really. I've been here for 22 years. Feel like I've done a lot. So, yeah.
Well, what's top of the list? What the things that you've all done? What are your favorite things to do here?
Like Sherm said, I like going to the beach. I like hiking. I like hanging out with my family a lot. Yeah. Allegedly, my favorite thing to do was the Stairway of Heaven.
Oh, you can't do that anymore, huh?
Yeah. I don't know if I did that, but yeah. It was a good view when you got up there.
That's one of the things I am most disappointed is I didn't get a chance to do that hike before they dismantled that. And, boy, what a shame that was. Well, what's your favorite beach?
I like Sunset on the North Shore. It's a very
That's
nice
beautiful.
Beach. Yeah.
What about the sandbar out in Kaneohe Bay?
Yeah, I've been there a couple times, but it's just hard. You gotta get on a boat to get out there. But once you get out there, it's a very, very crazy feeling. You're just standing in the middle of the ocean, basically.
Yeah, that's just a beautiful place to go. And, our Outrigger Club goes out there pretty frequently and kind of cruises around when we're taking a little break. So, like I said, it is the most beautiful place that I've ever seen. Yeah. So, but you could say that about so many areas. Greg, what about you? You've been out here a long time.
Well, I was born and raised.
Born and raised, which is a long time.
Well, thank you.
I want to jump in, and since we do have a bunch of guys who have some experience here in the islands, Sherm just mentioned how he's pretty new. First, I'll start with you, Knock. How much do you leave it to your players, especially considering you do have some local guys on the team, to help the new guys who come in and aren't necessarily comfortable in the islands off rip? How much do you leave it on your team, and how much do you as a coaching staff try and help those guys get immersed in the islands?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great question. Kind of a good balance is the answer. And we do have 4 local guys, and then we got guys like Tucker's been here 5 or 6 years. Jake's been here for 6. He's a local guy, but we've got guys who have been here a while, so they know the island pretty well. So just they on their own. I don't know. They do random stuff like I think Mai and Avi went fishing the other day, and they just do it on their own naturally, and then we try to build some more organized stuff that we do as a team.
And then Kordel, as a local guy, you're like, I've been here 22 years. Do you or any of the other local guys on the team, do you feel almost a responsibility to teach a little bit more about, the islands, whether it be the fun stuff to do or, the actual culture here on Oahu and elsewhere?
I don't feel much of a responsibility for it, but if they ask me, I'm for sure willing to help. I mean, if they don't want to learn, then it's on them. But yeah, if they ask questions, then I'm here for it, and I could teach them everything they want to know.
Half the time, they just can't understand him is the problem.
Where did you go to high school?
I actually went to St. Francis before it shut down, but then I ended up graduating.
That's right next to the Shark Tank.
Yeah, did you
That
play
was the Shark Tank,
at the Shark Tank when it was St. Francis? Okay.
Wow.
For
home court advantage.
Yeah, man, you
that played there for quite a while.
Yeah. Went there from 8th grade to junior year, and then I graduated from Kamehameha.
Very nice, boy.
Beautiful.
Yeah, again, back to just all the amazing things to do here and places to go. But, the question you asked, Paul, I think is a critical one. And just before we go to the commercial break, one of the things that's really impressed me about living here is the respect for the environment and the water that the Hawaiian people have here. It just it's so apparent and obvious, and you become so connected to those feelings when you're out here that you feel, the responsibility for keeping the environment pristine and the protection of the water, and it's an amazing feeling, and when you have that kind of stewardship around you, and it's hard to not pick that up and feel a part of it. So, but with that, I know we got to do one more commercial break here, and then we'll head into our last segment of the day. So you are listening to Sharks Weekly, and one more shout out to the Kawazoi Group, one of our amazing sponsors. Kawazoi Group is a proud supporter of Hawaii Pacific University men's basketball, and we thank you for that support. So we'll take our last break, and we'll come back. We'll talk a little bit more basketball. You are listening to Sharks Weekly. I'm your host, Jeff Rich, and we'll be right back.
You're listening to Sharks Weekly on the Hawaii Sports Radio Networks, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
And we're back for our last segment of this beautiful Thursday morning in Honolulu, Hawaii. We're talking men's basketball. So we were talking at the break, too. We've talked a lot about the Shark Tank, and it occurred to us, maybe a lot of our listeners don't know exactly where the Shark Tank is. Kordel, you certainly know where it is, having spent most of your basketball career there. But maybe, give Jesse, Kordel, give us a little taste of, just for our folks that don't know, where the Shark Tank is and the connection to Old St. Francis School.
Yeah, the Shark Tank is located in Manoa. It's where the St. Francis School used to be. But yeah, it's a great environment to watch a basketball game in.
It is wonderful environment, and I'm looking forward to that homecoming game and getting to get out there at the halftime and the faculty staff game and hopefully not tearing an Achilles. So everybody's knocking on wood after that. Jesse, as we kind of wrap up too, I wanted to make sure we talked a little bit about some of the new recruits that you brought in. It's looking like you've added strength to the team, but give us a sense of how the recruiting season went and how you see those players fitting in.
Yeah, I think everything always works out, and this year indeed, there was some ups and downs, but we definitely were able to bring in some good firepower to add to the mix. So obviously we talked to Sherman here. I mentioned Jonas a little bit, a big man inside. He was at University of San Francisco, and then did 1 year at Southern Nazarene, a really good Division II, and he's finishing up his MBA here at Hawaii Pacific. So, and then we've got Pavle Kuzmanovic, who played 3 years at Boise State.
He's from Serbia.
He is from Serbia. And 1 year, he was hurt last year, but was at Little Rock. So that's Pavle. Really excited about him as well. And then we have a first time we brought in a Division III transfer who put out really good numbers. He's a great dude, really athletic, Joshua West. So adding
That's
him
from
to
Dominican.
the mix. Mm-hmm.
Brought him in? Okay.
So it's a different Dominican from the one in our league.
Okay.
He's from Chicago. Then we got our last one is Hudson. He's a local boy from Maui. So adding him into the mix.
Very nice. So strong recruiting class. Is the transfer portal?
I'm sorry, I missed one because it was a really late addition. Was another point guard in the mix is Avi Halpert. He's from Moore Park College. If you recall Diggy Wimbush last year,
Diggy.
He had an unfortunate injury this late in the summer. He tore his ACL, so he's getting surgery this week. So prayers for him. And we look to have him back next year, but he'll be continuing school in the spring while he does his rehab. But we were able to bring on Avi late in the mix here from Moore Park College.
Okay.
He had an incredible freshman season. Wasn't planning on transferring, but when we came calling, he thought it was an incredible opportunity to come here for his sophomore year instead of going back to junior college. So we were excited to get him last minute, and he's been an awesome addition to our team.
Wow. Now, does Diggy get an extra year of eligibility if you?
Yes, it's a medical hardship that we'll work through the NCAA with.
Yeah, he was a major contributor last year, I recall. So that's a big loss for the team.
So, Coach, this is going to be an exciting team. I mean, who's the biggest competition in the Pac West this year?
Well,
for the Sharks?
Man, it's such a competitive league. There is no nights off. Like, so-called last place team could beat the first place team on any given
it's
night.
A great league. Yeah,
but there are definitely your usual suspects in Point Loma and Azusa Pacific and Biola. The Southern California schools are typically strong in our league. So I would say those three, and Chaminade's always our rival, and Hilo's gotten to be really good. Coach Iona there has done a good job. So the local games are always ones we circle on the calendar for sure.
Every game's going to be exciting.
Very much
Fast.
so. Very much.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, as I said, you got your first exhibition game on November 1st, Hawai'i Military, and that'll be at the Shark Tank. And then the first official game will be a home opener, I guess, Alaska Anchorage at the Shark Tank. So that's November 8th. So you got a little time to prepare and really get ready, but that season will be rolling here quickly, huh?
Really quickly.
Wow. Well, before we jump off the air, too, I want to pull in Greg and say, Greg, you've had a chance to kind of look around and see what else has happened around HPU sports in the coming week. So what stands out to you?
So cross country, September 28 at Cal State San Marcos. So I just ran into Coach Kevin right outside. They're heading over to San Diego.
Yeah, they're on their way to San Diego.
It's exciting. I know. He's very excited. And then we have women and men's soccer versus Hilo at Waipio Stadium, September 28, 12:30 and 3 p.m. And then we have women's volleyball, September 29, at Menlo College at 1 o'clock p.m.
Wow, so a lot happening.
A lot happening this week.
We are in full swing here in the fall semester. It's passing by quick. I want to ask you guys too. I mean, one of the the difficult things about playing out here in Hawaii is when you got to do a road trip. It's a road trip. You head to the coast or wherever, and you're there for a little while. Does that make it harder to kind of get through some of those longer road trips that a lot of other schools on the mainland don't have to deal with?
I think it makes the road trip better. Like, we're with the team 10 days straight. Like, it really helps bond us. Like, we really get to know each other and hang out every day. It's fun. I like it.
Yeah, and I can imagine there's an advantage too when teams come here from other places and they get kind of overwhelmed by being out here and maybe take their eye off the basketball a little bit, right?
Yeah. That's the goal.
They're going to their favorite beaches.
Favorite beaches. There you go. All right. Well, Greg, any favorite questions? Yeah, you've got your questions, but before we kind of wrap, anybody want to call out a favorite something or other? Let's start maybe with favorite movies. I think.
Oh, favorite movie.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Favorite action movie?
Action. I start with an action movie.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Die Hard.
Die Hard.
Yeah.
Classic.
Good one.
Yeah.
Didn't know we were tossing Christmas movies in here.
We'll
That
get
is
you,
a
Paul, in a
Christmas
second.
movie, yeah.
All right, Kordel, you're up.
I'm a big superhero Marvel guy, so I like the Spider-Man movies.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Sherman?
Fast and Furious, all of them.
All of them.
All of them.
Wow.
Nice. Jesse?
I don't know about action movie, but standout movie to me is Shawshank Redemption and Green
Excellent
Mile.
movie.
Perfect movie. Shawshank
Great
is perfect.
movie and one of the classics.
Yeah.
All right, Paul.
What about you, Jeff?
Well, I'll tell you mine in a sec, but I want to get Paul's next here.
No, Kordel and I are spot on same page. Big Spider-Man guys.
Spider-Man.
That's actually part of the reason my wife and I got so close so quickly. We bonded over
Is
Spider-Man.
that why you're wearing that outfit today?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, mine is an old classic, and I'd be curious to see if anybody in this room has ever even heard of this movie or seen it. It's a movie, I think it was in the 70s, called Being There with Peter Sellers. Anybody?
Nobody's seen it.
Nobody's seen it. Peter Sellers plays a character called Chauncey Gardner, and he is a man-child who grows up in a very rich person's sort of sequestered condo. I think it was in Philadelphia, but had no experience in the outside. And anyway, he is such a simple person and says such simple things that he's mistaken as brilliant. And through the course of the movie, he ends up one step away from becoming vice president of the United States through an odd sequence of events.
Wow.
Great movie with Shirley MacLaine, Peter Sellers. Nobody in this room probably has ever heard of those people.
I'm going to go see it. I'm going to go see it today.
Oh, man, oh, man. Well, hey, we're about out of time here, but I want to thank all our listeners for tuning in to our official season opener. I want to wish the basketball team an
Great
amazing
season.
season. I know you guys are gonna top last year and continue to build the excitement momentum across campus. So I'm thankful to have had the opportunity to meet you guys and talk again this morning. And just a reminder for all of our listeners, you can catch all of our shows on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network, where we have a live stream that will then be recorded at that point, but you can watch us and see all the shenanigans here in studio. And as always, we will be broadcasting live Thursday mornings at 9 o'clock. Everybody have an amazing week, and we'll talk with you next Thursday.
Aloha.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You've been listening to the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network's special presentation of Sharks Weekly in conjunction with Hawai'i Pacific University on 95.1 FM and AM 760. A special mahalo to Hawai'i Pacific University Executive Director of Athletics, Dr. Debbie Snell, Hawai'i Pacific University's VP of Marketing and Communications, Jeffrey Rich, On-Site Technical Engineer Paul Brecht, and Operations Director Ku'ule Agbayani. We now return you to regular scheduled programming on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.